I urge you to support this resolution. The Public Health Nurses of Ontario will continue to be the advocates for each and every one of us in this room and each and every one of the members of the public to advocate for our health and to prevent disease. Thank you.
We need a leader who has the ability to capture the hearts and the minds and the souls of the workers of this province.
Declare Brother Ryan elected President of the Ontario Federation of Labour.
Once again, sisters and brothers, to get in behind a positive vision for Labour and send the signal that we'll not be marginalised anymore in this province, that we're going to fight for jobs, for CEP and for steel workers and for public sector workers, and we're going to preserve the services that we've got in this province, and that no government can stand up against the might of the Labour movement when we're united. Public sector workers, construction workers, private sector workers, school teachers. It's the greatest force we'll have, sisters and brothers, in this province. We can push for that new vision. I know we've got the energy, we've got the commitment, and we have the strength of the Ontario Federation of Labour in behind it.
I feel very humbled to be here, nominating Marie Kelly for Secretary-Treasurer. We do have some medical officers of health out there that are fighting us each and every step of the way. And an example I'm going to give you is in one of our public health units where they refused to provide our registered nurses that were providing the vaccinations in these immunization clinics with the N95 respirator. The Ministry of Labour was called. The Ministry of Labour ordered that this public health unit provide our nurses the N95 respirators. And what did this employer do? They appealed the order from the Ministry of Labour.
Hamilton Health Sciences, I'm sure, is not the only hospital that is trying to save money by failing to provide the public, the workers, their personal protective equipment. But it is the way that these hospitals do save money.
You know, when you go to Europe, when you go to cities around the world and countries, progressive countries around the world, many, many jurisdictions have employer-supported transit passes. And here in Toronto, who has led the charge? Unite Here has led the charge. And Sheraton Hotel, it's another victory to your name.
Our home care workers are second-class citizens in the healthcare system. They are being eroded, they're being gutted, they get crappy wages, and we need to support each and every one of them. You want to look at hospitals? I'll speak from the nurse's perspective. We have lost, and you might say, well, that's not many jobs, Linda, but we have lost 1,265 RN positions in the last 6 months because of the balancing of hospital budgets on the back of nurses and the other healthcare workers that we represent across Ontario. It is a shame.
this province a whole set of new rules governed by corporate greed that's trying to take advantage of a recession and blaming workers somehow for causing this crisis. At the same time, there are two corporations, Valienco across the street, as we just heard, that made $4.2 billion in the last year or so, and Cadillac Fairview behind me that made $1.2 billion in the same period. $5.4 billion between these two corporations. And what happens when you think that we wanted to expand and hire new workers? No. Instead, he kicked 61 workers to the sidelines and basically said we're not extracting enough profit, so let's get 61 workers out of the system and let's put them out of work. And Valienco is not happy with $4.2 billion. What did they do? They put 3,500 workers out of work up in Sudbury, destroying the economy of that region. That's what the thanks that we get for creating this wealth for these bums in the first place. So I say, sisters and brothers, we got to think about new strategies. We got to sit down with the leadership of the labour movement and say, how can we really help these workers? And I know that if CEP puts a picket line out here and stops them going into that building behind us, there'll be a court injunction. But you know, if CUPE sends in 100 workers, if the steel workers send in 100 workers, if the SEIU sends in 100 workers, they can't get court injunctions against each and every one of us.
Well, how about a smile? Come on, let's go here.
Hey, hey!
Hey, ho, ho! Where the ladies will go.
What do we want? Fair deal! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Fair deal! When do we want it? Now! Come on, guys! When do you want? Fair deal! When do we want it? Now! Okay, that's good.